I am the hard worker in the relationship, the breadwinner, and I have just found out my wife cheated. I am 31 and so is my wife. We have been married for 10 years and we have 2 children together. 5'11". I recently found out that she cheated on me with a 21-year-old. He was the one that confessed to me I work for a tree company and need to be out of town for 4 or 5 days a week. On top of that, at the start of this year, my dad passed down the rights of a small restaurant to me and my wife. One day I hired this young guy to work for me at the restaurant. I didn't notice or see anything suspicious at first, but I slowly started to catch on that he might be talking to my wife behind my back. One day I grabbed my wife's cell phone and she instantly grabbed it back. I told her to let me see it if she wasn't hiding anything. She took a couple seconds on her phone, then gave me it, but I saw she had deleted her Snapchat app. I asked why and she claimed I made fun of her whenever she took pictures. I never did though. This was the first red flag. Then on 4th of July we closed up the restaurant and invited every employee to the lake. At the lake I saw my wife go up to the restroom, and a couple minutes later the young man I had hired followed. I went up to see and saw that they were talking. I asked her why he came up here to talk to her, and she said that he simply asked her a couple questions about his hours. This was second red flag. Mind you, my 2 daughters had just been taken to Mexico for the summer and to get some load off our shoulders. So fast forward 2 months and a couple more red flags along the way. The 21-year-old comes up and confesses that he had been having an affair with my wife for months now. He was drunk when telling me. He proceeded to give me details on how they had gotten a hotel room a couple of times and they would even kiss in the restaurant behind everyone's back. He even showed me some proof. I then proceeded to confront my wife and she stayed quiet. She then started lying, saying she did start talking to him, but the only reason she went to the hotels was because he threatened to tell me if she didn't. I tried to believe that, but I gave the young man a call and he told me she went willingly and even provided proof. Now I feel betrayed. My own wife of 10 years, doing this right under my nose, and I knew it, I just couldn't prove it. Every day I would see him clock in just to find out he was doing these things with my wife. Our 2 daughters, our house, our relationship, the hard work I have put in to support my family. I am devastated, hurt, and I think I want to divorce her and take the kids. What should I do? Story 2, what being cheated on feels like. My guy friend cheated on his GF with his ex. He told me he is non-stop trying to prove to his GF that he loves her and it was a mistake. She wants to forgive, but it's not working. Well, so I thought of this and just wanted to share. Cheating is like, you, the cheater, started a fire in her house. There are no alarms, no warnings. She wakes up, there is a fire. Her initial reaction is she does not want this to happen. She wants to save everything. She loves her house. This was not her choice. But the fire is already too big. She needs to get out to save herself if she wants to live. No matter how scared and upset you are, you need to get out. That is what it feels like to be cheated on. Swap genders, it doesn't matter. No matter how bad you wish it didn't happen, it did. Your house burned down. You need to rebuild one way or another, get a new home or rebuild your old home, but you will always remember how it burned the first time. Just wanted to share. Redditor's reaction. Redditor 1, cheating is like going to your favorite restaurant on a night that your favorite chef is working and ordering your favorite meal. However, they just hired a new waiter, and before he brings you your plate he sticks his dick in it and messes the whole plate up. The chef comes out and apologizes, tells you that even though it looks a little rough it's still the same meal and tastes just as good. You know you love this meal, so you take a bite or two, but knowing there was some dude's dick stirring around the plate makes you nauseous and you just can't choke any more down. You leave and never come back. You're sad for a while, but eventually you find a new favorite meal at a new place and life goes on. Or you keep going back to the old restaurant, but they never fired that waiter, so every time he brings you your plate you examine it really closely looking for dick marks. Eventually you stop the close examinations and try to enjoy your meal like you used to. It tastes almost as good, until one day bam, dude sticks his dick into it again and you vomit. Redditor 2, to tag onto your post. I get a lot of flack for this, but the moment a cheater cheats his so becomes a loser. They lose trust. They lose love. They lose all hopes and dreams. They lose mental health. They lose emotional stability. If the cheater wants to reconcile, they need to understand that all of these losses need to be refunded with interest. Just stopping the cheating is never enough. As to your analogy, I believe if the old house is rebuilt, it should be different, changed to suit both parties better. Redditor 3, I used a very similar example with my ex. I told her I'm trying to be emotionally stable, but it's hard. It feels like I'm a 40-story building, and she set a bomb off that, took out the 10th floor and left the rest of it completely unstable. The only way to ever have it whole again is to either risk going inside of this unstable mess and start patching it up, or to completely knock it down. Either way, it wouldn't be easy, it wouldn't be quick, and there's risk involved. I also wrote this down but never shared it and will never share it with her. I tend to write things on my phone's notes app. I told you I'm scared of you, and I am. Because I drop my guard around you, I cross every border, every boundary emotionally just for the chance to have you. Even though you've shown me I can't trust you, I still drop my guard for you. If I could trust you with that, it would be different. However, I feel like I'd throw myself into a fire to save you from the flames, but after you'd watch me burn, just to feel the warmth. That's why you scare me, because I can't help but give you everything. But I know you'll never do the same. You're not all in the way I am. I take all the risk. Redditor 4, other people sharing their metaphors, so I'll share the one I heard a while back. Break a plate. Not the paper or plastic kind. Bring out the fine china and break one of those. Now say sorry to it. Now say I'll make it up to you to it. Now say I'll never do it again to it. Now say I love you to it. Did the plate magically fix itself? No. Because you broke it, and words aren't actions. You can't fix shit with words unless you're in politics, and even then, go get some glue and fix it. You have to put it back together. You can still see the cracks, no matter how well you glue it. You could gild it in gold if you wanted to, make it all special and fancy-like, but the damage has been done and it's still there. After breaking that plate, it'll never be the same again. After cheating on someone, they'll never be the same again, either. Redditor 5, I have something to describe it. You shot a person, she is not alive. No matter how many times you said sorry, it's a mistake, it will meet happen again, I don't know why I did this, yada yada blah blah blah. No matter how many times you say sorry or get them to a hospital MC. She won't come back alive. She chose to kill him. Like the same way she chose to cheat on them. It will never be the same. Redditor 6, cheaters emotionally detach from their clueless souls during the courtship emotional phase of their affairs, leaving behind any love they might ever have felt with each of the hundreds of decisions they made along the way, so of course it is no big thing to them. There was no love for their soul remaining. The faithful and clueless souls do not have that luxury. For me, it seemed like the difference between planning a molar extraction with anesthesia and purpose-specific tools for the cheater, while the soul's molar is removed without consent, without numbing, by surprise, using a framing hammer, construction drill, and chisel. That's why there is no anguish for the cheater, i.e., it truly isn't a big deal for them. While the so frequently gets PTSD, often suffers deep depression for years, and loses the ability to ever be so trusting again. Redditor 7, cheating is a choice. No one ever trips and somehow falls NKED on top of another person. They can blame alcohol, drugs, anger, loneliness, depression, time frustration, proximity, but at some point along the path, they chose to trip and land on another person. They can pick themselves up and say they don't know how it happened or blame their partner or the position of the moon. They chose the first step, they could have taken another path, they could have ignored the person who just happened to be stretched out on the path tripping people. It all comes down to that first step. Redditor 8, being cheated on feels like getting the wind knocked out of you. Having a great time on a swing set, and jumping off the wrong way high in the air and hitting the hard earth. Being cheated on feels like realizing you're on the Truman Show, you look at the people and world so differently. Some sort of purity is robbed from you. I don't wish it on anyone. Redditor 9, I have another restaurant metaphor that I read somewhere here before. Imagine, it's your birthday and you decide to treat yourself. You go to that fancy restaurant. You order the best burger they have with Kobe patty and all the works. You also get a drink to enjoy with your meal. The meal comes up and you decide, hey, let me go to the restroom before I start with my meal. While you are gone to the restroom, Someone else sits at your table, takes a bite out of that burger, takes a sip from the drink and goes away or lurks around. You come back and see that someone has taken a bite out of the meal that you were so looking forward to enjoying. It ruins the experience that you were looking forward to. Often, it is expected or asked of you to eat the burger.